Hey tubes, Jonathan's wrong here. Truth and budget. So just something real quick. I'm, of course, reading the news feed before I hop in the shower, and there's just this recurring theme about science, which is actually scientism, is that everything's a theory. It's all theoretical. When you actually look into stuff and you're like, where have they found this? Where is this located? It's either theoretical or they supposedly made it in a lab. So here's the deal with that. Here's how real science works. You have a theory and then you stress test it. You basically try to disprove your theory. You try as hard as possible you can to disprove your theory. And if you can't disprove your theory, it becomes a fact. Now, all these things nowadays are theories because they don't stress test them. What they do is the exact opposite. They do experiments to try to find one little thing that will prove what they say as correct. And that isn't science. That's exact opposite of science. That's not scientific at all. That's like someone lying to you that something happened, and then they keep trying to do it over and over again to see if it might work or whatever. Then it, for some happenstance, it might say, yeah, that's what happened. I didn't fart. The leather couch squeaked. They sit there trying to get the couch to squeak for like 5 minutes, and finally does. And like, yeah, see, that's what it was. It wasn't me farting. It was the couch squeaking. See how I did it that one time after like 5 minutes of trying every possible way I could? So it had to be that. I mean, had to. I just did it. But yeah, so that's the people, you see stuff like don't question the science, don't question the science. That's science. You are supposed to question the science. If you question the science and the science does not hold up, it's not science. It's bad science. It's a bad theory. That's how it works. That's how it's supposed to work. That's why what we have nowadays is not actually science, it's scientism. It's a religion. It's a false religion. How a lot of the false religions work is where they come up with some nonsense, or they're given some nonsense, and they go looking for one little thing that can prove it. Because for some people that's all they need. The Catholic Church was huge into relics. If you look into the history of the Catholic Church, they'd get some place, they'd hold it, they'd build a temple there, and then they'd fill it with relics. Oh, who's got a relic? Oh, I got a dead saint's finger bone. Oh, cool. Oh, I got a piece of a wood that is important to someone or something. Oh, it's great. I got a dude's head. Oh, we got a dude's head. Bring it in here. That isn't ghastly. It's very Christian to have all these, dead body parts of saints as trophies. It's very Christian. Such a Christian thing. Like how all the Jesuits build chandeliers and, mausoleums and structures and sculptures out of, human bones, human remains. Because they were just laying around. Got to do something with all those femurs and, pelvic bones, right? Gosh, sure you have a lot of skulls. This wall be skulls. Jesus would like that. Jesus would like how he just had all these dead bodies laying around, so we might as well do something with them. Like a chandelier. Nice cooking pit. Who knows? But anyway, yeah, it just drives me crazy when I see, oh, they discovered something. I'm like, okay, where did they discover it? Where does it exist in nature? Where is it? Looking for where this thing is. Can't find where this thing is. Oh, Fermilab. They made it in Fermilab. And I give a shit, that you don't prove anything. Other than the fact that, all they ever show us is computer graphics, And none of us can afford a high energy electron collider, so I guess we can't do the tests for ourselves, or even like a high energy electron microscope. We're just out, or high power telescope. We're just outsourced, out moneyed with all these things. We can't test the science ourselves. So I guess we got to take their word for it when all they have is like one example of something. That's like, you hear people like, oh, gravity and evolution is still theory because everyone's so stupid. No, gravity and evolution are still theories because they're bad theories, because they're stupid. All right? Evolution is a dumb theory. Do you know why? Every cell in your body cannot be deconstructed. It cannot exist in a lesser state. It has to exist how it is now. If it is de-evolved, it won't function. Do you understand what I'm saying? These things can't exist in a lesser state. They are how they were made. It's like de-evolving a submarine and taking out the engine. You just made a underwater coffin. Good job. Talk to Britain about that. They were really bad at making submarines. But anyway, that's how it is. If you can't have these things exist in a lesser state. Yes, animals adapt. Things adapt. Okay, but a lizard does not become a bird. A fish does not become a mammal. A fish becomes a different kind of fish, slightly different kind of fish. A bird becomes a slightly different kind of bird. That's not evolution, that's adaptation. There's a massive difference. And as far as gravity goes, when you look into all the dumb stuff Einstein said and Isaac Newton, all these guys, they never said anything very profound. And it's like they're explaining something to a child, and unfortunately most people, that's enough for them because it's they want it to be real. They can't think that there's anything else, that there's I sometimes wonder if I'm going bald when I'm making a video. It's like, am I balding? Sorry. But like gravity being explained as a ball and a blanket drives me nuts. Because people accept this, and it's like, okay, what's the blanket? Well, the blanket's gravity. Okay, why is it a two-dimensional object? What do you mean? Well, look at the graph. We have gravity, we have reality, whatever, and then we have a planet on it, bringing it down, which brings other things into it. Yeah, exactly. Okay, why is it on a flat plane? Well, I just went laggy, and no one knows. They're just, that's just so they could make the diagram. Okay, well then why can't they make the diagram in a three-dimensional space? Well, they are. Never mind. Good luck with that. Keep thinking you're a monkey. It's just really dumb. But science, for it to be real science, is fire tested. It is put under pressure. It is tested in the worst conditions to try to disprove it as hard as possible. And if you can't disprove it, oh yeah, you got a fact. Cool, huh? They don't do that anymore. And if you question what they're doing, they come down on you. That is a tyrannical religion. All right? If you're not allowed to discuss something, that's effed up. You should be allowed to discuss anything because any falsities become self-evident. Any lies or nonsense becomes self-evident. When you force someone not to speak on a subject, it's because you're afraid of what they're going to say. All right? They don't want all these flat earther stuff out there because they don't want people to be like, wait a minute, why does the sun shoot light out to the side and is able to cast shadows on clouds right next to it when it's supposed to be billions of miles above us? Hey, it only looks like it's about 14 miles above us. That's strange. Hey, look at the angles of the sun. That proves localized light. All these things prove localized light, but most people would rather think that video of the Earth, of the sun flying through space and everything, like struggling to keep behind it. The fucking music going, and it's like, yeah, look at this techno music and everything flying. It's so cool. That's dumb. What would evolve to be like that? What madman created the universe for it to just have stuff flying through like a third the speed of light? Like, oh, don't worry, there's enough space. If anything collided with anything at that speed, which is what makes space travel impossible, because they have these like gold foil, plastic, they have windows all over them. Like, not only can you not make anything strong enough to withstand infinite pressure, because that's what you would have to make a hull strong enough for, is to withstand infinite pressure, because there's infinite space in an infinite void, so there'd be infinite pressure on your ship trying to rip it apart. But if you hit anything while traveling that fast, you would be annihilated. Other than the fact that upon your trajectory, if you were off by a frog's hair, you would be in the middle of nowhere, traveling at that speed, at that distance. Think of a bullet. Think of when someone's firing a gun. If they're slightly off, the further away you are, it's going 20 feet over your head. Now multiply that by billions. Billions. Like, people just do not realize what astronomical means. They see numbers, they hear things, and they're like, oh wow, that's a big number. No. That's an impossible number. That's a theoretical number. Things don't go that high. Things aren't that big. Because why? Why would they be? Why do you think light travels forever? Who decided light just keeps traveling? That's insane. So light just travels in a linear line, just follows us? That doesn't make sense. Why would light travel in a linear line forever? If it's coming out of a star, it's going in all directions. It's a spherical object putting out light in all directions, but people think it's a linear line that follows us like a piece of magic spaghetti. And when I say that, people are like, what do you mean? That the light would have to be following us as a linear object. They can't wrap their heads around it. I get told, oh, you can't. No. I am actually one of the few people, apparently, that can think in 3 dimensions. Is it helpful? Apparently not. It's literally like I speak a different language. People can't wrap their heads around these concepts, and they think they can. But thinking is hard, But anyway, I gotta get ready for work. Give up on scientism. All right. If something is not to be tested and not to be questioned, that is not science. Okay. You're now getting into something that is tyrannical religious, and people are like, oh, what about the Christian church? Being a Christian is not being religious. Obeying God and knowing who God is and doing what God wants you to do is not religious. All right. Wearing a little box on your head and doing little mumbling, the Catholics like, they do all the weird stuff and the weird altars and the weird things, the weird clothing, the weird ritualistic nonsense. That's religious, and it's not in the Bible. In fact, the Bible tells you not to do that stuff. Did you know that? Did you know the Bible in multiple parts says not to peep and mutter and chant and say things over and over again and repeat yourself and do all this stuff? We're specifically told not to do that. That's how the pagans worship. But anyway, goodness gracious. But yeah, I'm so sick of seeing, new scientific discovery is something that exists in nature. Okay, where's it located? Where's it located? Where's it located? Going through papers. Oh, here's a scientific PDF where the information is. Because you gotta download a whole PDF and read the darn thing. I do it because that's the only way you get the actual information. You don't get some dingus writing an article that omits everything. Just gives you the juicy bits. Like, isn't this cool that this exists? Okay, maybe if it did exist, but where is it? It's one of those things like, where is it? No one asks where the origin of anything is. It's like, cryptocurrency. Who put it there? Yeah, that's great. You got all these blockchains. You know, solve problems to get this information. Who put the information there and who encrypted it? No one asks these questions, and when you pose them to people, like, oh wow, that's a good question. Should have been the first thing you thought. You know, hey, I got a new money. Here you go. Whoa, that weirdo just gave me new money. Oh, I heard there's a new money on the computer. Must be real because it's on the computer. I mean, not like anyone would use technology for nefarious purposes. No way. Technology is a good thing. Technology is a blessing. It's just like Prometheus. He tried to bring us, you know, technology, and the gods punished him because the gods are so mean. Prometheus was such a good guy, bringing us technology that we need. We're not better off now, all right? People are crazy and miserable and messed up because there's Wi-Fi and all this electricity and electromagnetism and energies going through everyone all the time. It's making people crazy and miserable and depressed. Everyone's sick. Everyone's on medications that make them sicker. We are not better off. The pharmaceuticals are unnatural. We're putting unnatural things in our body and replacing the natural things. You know, when nuclear isotopes replace regular isotopes, that could probably happen to us. We're, you know, it's like when people take all these psychotropic drugs because they're depressed, and then their brains stop working correctly. They're probably like replacing natural things with unnatural things. I mean, there's all sorts of theories with that, with the viral theory and all that. But I'm not going to get into any of that right now because we're getting close to 17 minutes, and I got to get to work. But anyway, seriously, you follow the science and follow the money, and you'll always see that the only place it exists is in some lab that costs billions of dollars. So A, why are they doing it? B, why does it matter? And C, why are they doing it? Because all the money. And oh, we found a new type of something. Why? Oh, you know, we're just trying to uncover the secrets of the universe. No, you're not. You're up to something. You're trying to undo creation. You're trying to break down and build back. That's what you're trying to do. And it's obvious because, you know, they like, oh, we're making robot arms for vets that have their arms blown off. The U.S. government doesn't give a shit about its veterans. Fact. Throughout time and memoriam, as long as there's been an American government that had a standing army, it has not given a shit about its veterans. Going back to the Civil War. That's why they all became outlaws and stuff. Did you know that? Did you know all the Wild West and all the drifters and the man of justice and the bandits and everything? Those are all ex-soldiers. Where do you think they got the guns? Where do you think they got the military knowledge? Their country had deserted them, and they now had no land and no money because the South was decimated. But that's a whole nother story for another time. But anyway, stop believing in scientism. Question the science always. That is science. If the science does not hold up to questioning, it is not good science. God bless all of you. Have a beautiful day, and God bless you.